So I had to run downstairs and make his green smoothie for him, and it was nasty today. I mean, it wasn't disgusting. I mean, I'm definitely going to drink it, but it's not as good as my normal one. So it's okay. All right, guys. I am super excited. We have been having so much fun. For those of you who have been joining us, thank you, because it's been a blast. And if you're new, welcome to the party. We tend to have a lot of fun here. Well, I have a lot of fun. Hope you guys will have some fun as well. All right. I think we stopped at, therefore I let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. We talked about that one. There hath no temptation taken. We talked about that one. Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry. Okay, cool. So, I said that it was 10:15, but it's 10:14. So, therefore, my dear beloved, flee from idolatry. Guys, do we remember what idolatry is? It's the absence of love, because love is active, alive in this moment. In this moment, it's active and alive in this moment. Therefore, if anything isn't active and alive in this moment, it's idle, which means it's not love. Yeah, pretty simple. I speak as to wise men, judge ye what I say. The cup of blessings which we bless, is it not the communion of the blood of Christ? The bread which we break, is it not the communion of the body of Christ? For we, being many, are one bread and one body, for we are all partakers of that one bread. Okay. You do not have to admit it out loud. However, if you are a people pleaser, sometimes we can get jacked up in our understanding of this whole we are one thing. Okay. Because we tend to give out here, making out here okay, hoping that if it's okay out here, it will be okay in here. Now, why do we do that? Two reasons. One, that's how we're conditioned. Don't be selfish, give to other people. It's better to give than to receive. All of the things, right? Then there's also the fact that it is the law. Whatever's going on out here is going on here, and whatever's going on here is going on out here. The problem is we don't know what the source is, right? So when we think it's just equal, right? When we think it's doesn't matter what side is the start and the finish, the cause and the effect, then we try to fix what's out here instead of recognizing out here is a reflection of in here. And there's a verse, I don't know where it is, but it's one of my favorites. When the eye is clear, the whole body is clear. When the eye is clear, the whole body is clear. When I see myself clear, I see myself and the world around me clearly. Okay. I can't fix what's out there if I have something in my eye. Remember when Jesus' Sermon on the Mount was like, hey, dude, take the log out of your eye before you take the speck out of your brother's eye? Like, you got to work on yourself first. You got to be in right standings first. And when you're in right standings, everything outside of you is in right standings. If something outside of you is not in right standings, good indicator that you need to square up with who you are in Christ. Okay. So, yes, we are all one. Yes, we are all connected. Yes. However, nothing out here will ever make me okay. Nothing out here will ever make me okay, even though we're connected. Why? Because I see through a filter. When my eye is clear, I see through the filter of however right or wrong I perceive myself to be. So when I'm in right standings, I see through the lens of right standings. And what does that make everything outside of me? In right standings. Yeah. Now, guys, let me back up a little bit. Okay, if I'm at a restaurant and I order soup and I desire my soup hot and it comes lukewarm, does that mean that I say, oh, I'm in right standings, and so everything outside of me is in right standings, and so I should eat lukewarm soup when I like it hot? No, I just say I'm in right standings and my soup is like, there's nothing wrong with it, yet I prefer it hot. There's nothing wrong with it, but I prefer it hot. So excuse me, waiter, would you do me a favor and warm up my soup? The difference in it being the wrongness is when the soup comes and we're like, idiot, who serves freaking lukewarm soup? Doesn't the freaking kitchen know that their soup isn't hot yet? Maybe it was probably sitting up in the window for 3 hours. Wait, and then it got all lukewarm and now they're serving it to me. Do you guys see the difference between when I'm in right standings, I just navigate what's in front of me? Oh, excuse me, could you warm up my soup? If I'm not in right standings, I'm angry and I'm bitter and I'm telling stories about how incompetent the chef is. Do you guys get the difference? Cool. All right. We are being many, we are one. Behold, Israel, after the flesh, are not they which eat of the sacrifice partakers of the altar? What say I then? What say I then? That the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything? But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and do not to God. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. Okay, first of all, guys, again, let's look at context in the fullness of context. Okay, so first off, he's talking about Jews and Gentiles not from a religious perspective or a better than perspective. He's simply trying to create some contrast to say, okay, the Jews are God's people. Well, what does that mean? Well, we understand it plugged in. They're plugged in. What are Gentiles? Not God's people. People not plugged in. Okay, guess what? Are you guys ready? I could be a Jew in 7 seconds, and I could be a Gentile in the very next 7 seconds. Do you guys get that? This is about your consciousness, not about races of people. When you are plugged in, anything you do is sanctified. When you are not plugged in, now it's a toss-up. I don't know, is this good or bad? Is this right? Does this sound familiar? When you're eating off the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, is this good or bad? What's the meaning of this? Is it good or bad? That's the indicator I'm not plugged in. The minute that I'm plugged in, now I'm seeing in my righteousness, I mean, in relationship to God, not my righteousness. I'm standing in my gift-given righteousness. And now I look out in front of me and go, how do I navigate this in love? Do I eat it? Do I not eat it? No? Cool. Eat it? Yep, cool. There's no problem. But if I'm not plugged in, now I'm trying to be right. Why? Because I'm innately already in right standings. And if I'm not plugged in, then I'm trying to get back to being plugged in, even if I'm doing it in my own strength, in my own understanding. My efforting is trying to get it right. When I'm plugged in, however, I'm just already right. Now I just navigate whatever's in front of me based on me being love. Yes? So what this is talking about is that very thing. Like, if you're not plugged in, the things you're doing, you're hanging out with devils, you're hanging out with angels, you're hanging out, you don't know what's good, you don't know what's bad, you're trying to decipher and figure it all out and be the judge of it all. Instead of plugging in, letting God be the judge, and you just showing up as love. Now, guys, hear me well. I don't do this all the time, every day. I just said I could be in Jew state in 7 seconds and Gentile state in the next 7 seconds. The thing about the gospel is it's the invitation of what is available to us. That's it. It's an invitation of what is available to us. And now I practice plugging in more and more every day. That's it. I practice plugging in more and more every day. But now there's no problem if I'm plugged in or not plugged in. Because I know if I'm not plugged in, it's just an invitation to get more plugged in, to practice plugging in, to gain more strength in my ability to plug in. There's no problem. Right? Cool. Okay. Saying that which yeah. Okay. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. What? What? Wait. Did that just say either I'm plugged in or I'm not plugged in? I think that's what that just said. Either you're plugged in or you're not plugged in. Either you're plugged in and you're manifesting the fruits of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control, or you're not plugged in and you're gossiping and you're backbiting and you're covetous and you're an idolater and a fornicator. Guys, it's not about right and wrong. It's about the indicator of where is your plugged inness? Where's your heart? Are you focused on your right standings before God, or are you still trying to be in right standings before God? Guys, the good fucking news is that you're already in right standings. Now go live that way. That's the gospel, right? So if you catch yourself in your doings of life and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm totally gossiping right now. Oh, that means I'm not plugged in. I'm gossiping because I'm trying to make myself feel better by making somebody else look less than. Good. No problem. Just an indicator. Go get plugged in. Remember that you're already in right standings. Remember, you've been gifted with geniuses that nobody else on the planet has been gifted with. Just go live from there. Yeah. So cool, right? Okay. I love that verse. Can't drink from the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. You can't partake of the Lord's table and the table of the devils. Guys, it's one or the other. You're either plugged in or you're not. And neither is a big deal. Why? Because it's only in our consciousness, right? I'm already in right standings. That's what Christ did on the cross. I'm already in right standings. I already am. Now, my experience of that is if I'm aware of my already rightness or if I'm still trying to be right. Yes? Okay. Do not provoke the Lord to jealousy. Are we stronger than he? All things are lawful for me. Oh, here we go again, guys. All things are lawful for me, but not all things expedient. Let's look up what that word means. Expedient. To bear together, that is, to collect, to conduct, to conduct, to conduct. Here we are again, to conduct. What is that? Conduct energy. To be a conductor of energy. What's the only energy that's real? Love. So if I'm not alive in love, I'm dead. I'm not conducting energy that brings life. This is so cool, right? Guess what? It's science. Science works the same way. So it's not God against science, it's both physical and ethereal. Same laws, same laws. Just one is in the seen and one is in the unseen. So cool, right? So, and the whole don't provoke the Lord to jealousy, or stronger than that, or is he not stronger than that? Guys, we like, this is saying the absoluteness of the law. Like, don't waste your time. Don't be a douche. Like, God's not all upset if you're like not plugged in. He's not bothered by it. Why? Because he already knows your right standings. He knows you're just having an experience, right? Here's the equivalent. My daughter does movie makeup. And so she makes gory things. Well, back in the day, she liked to watch gory movies. And she'd be like, oh, gross. Right? Now, was I sitting there going, oh my gosh, my child, oh, there's so much gore. And it's no, because I knew it wasn't real. So she watched a movie that was gory and she was like, gory. I'm not over there going, I wonder if she's losing her soul. I'm just sitting there going, she's watching a gory movie, right? And she liked him. Why? Because that was part of her genius. Like, she was getting, what does she call it? Now, like when she sees like people with like gashes or something, or somebody gets hurt or whatever, she takes pictures of it. Reference photos. She's like, reference photos, so I can make the fake thing look as real as possible, right? So so the point is, I knew that what she was experiencing wasn't real. It was just an experience. That's why God's not freaked out when we're rebelling, when we're not plugged in. He's not up there crying, worried. Oh my gosh, I hope they come back to me. He's like, they can't actually leave me. They can have the experience of leaving me, but they can't actually leave me. Why? Because God defines himself as the all in all. It's no problem, guys. There's no problem. The reality is I'm already in Christ. The experience that I have of that reality is my choice to plug in, my choice to believe, my choice to surrender. Yeah? Cool, right? Isn't this good fucking news? Such good fucking news. I can't screw this up. Guys, isn't it good fucking news to know you can't screw it up? Like, you can just live from the righteousness of you and you can do life and you can show up and you can do the very best you can in that 7 seconds, knowing if you do the very best you can in this 7 seconds, that the next 7 seconds you'll do more or better. Cool, right? Okay. All things are lawful for me, but not everything conducts energy. All things are lawful for me, but not everything I do edifies. What does that mean? Not everything brings glory from me, right? Well, when does it not bring glory from me? When I'm not plugged in. When I'm not plugged in. Okay. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth. Okay, people pleasers. This is another one where we can get jacked up. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth. Okay, people pleasers. I'm talking to myself as well right now. So just FYI, Wendy's like, me, I'm a people pleaser. Me, that's me. Pick me. Yeah, guys, the only way that I can genuinely seek for someone else's wealth is if I already know I have it. This is not like, don't worry about you having anything, make sure other people have something. This is an indicator. When you already know you have everything you need, of course you want to give to other people. Of course you want to help other people, right? What's the one thing I love? my sweet, sweet friend Jamie just popped on, and she is in a network marketing company. I freaking love the network marketing model. Guess why? Because in order for you to win big, you have to help other people win big. Right? And so one of the things is help other people get what they want, and you will inevitably get what you want. Cool. Guess what? You can't genuinely help other people get what they want unless you understand the inevitability of you getting it. Do you guys get that? Because if I don't think I get it, now I become a manipulator trying to get you to get something so that I can get something. That's not inevitability. I can easily and from love help you get what you want when I know what I desire in the physical is inevitable based on the fact I already have it in my right standings before God. You see how even business and sales is affected by us knowing our rightness? Isn't that so cool? Everything is built on, wait, what? The foundation of Jesus Christ, which is what? Us knowing our already right standings before God. Guys, this is so simple. Now, is it easy? No. And do we have to practice? Yes. But I love how God like has me say it so sassy. Like, guys, this is like kindergarten. And guys, remember, I'm listening just like you're listening. Like God speaking through me, using my voice. But inside my head, I'm like, oh, yeah, that was a good one. Oh, yeah, Lori, write that one down. Right? We are on this journey together. We are in this together. I'm not talking at you, I'm talking amongst you, right? Because this is for me as well. I just want to make sure that when I get super sassy, that we are crystal clear that Lori is taking this in just as much as you guys are. Okay. Whatsoever. Okay. Okay. So people pleasers, don't try to give to other people from like good example. I love my brother, but he'll sleep outside in the dirt if it means somebody else can sleep in a bed. But the problem is he does it from the lessness of him, not the abundance of him. So he says, no, you deserve the bed and I don't. That's not what we're talking about. No, I deserve the bed and I can have the bed if I want the bed. And guess what? I'm totally good either way. So, dude, if you need the bed, take the bed. Do you see how different that is? Again, you guys, the behavior is exactly the same. One person's outside on the floor and one person's in the bed. The energy from which is a conducting of love. When I go, I'm a piece of shit and you're better than me, you should take the bed and I'll sleep on the floor. That does not conduct the energy of love. I'm amazing. I'm already in right standings before God, and it doesn't matter to me. Do you want the bed? Dope, take the bed. That produces, conducts, generates love. Yeah. Okay. Whatsoever is sold in the shambles that eat asking. Whatsoever is sold in the shambles that eat asking no questions for conscience sake. For the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. If any of them that believe not bid you to a feast, and ye be disposed to go, whatsoever is set before you, eat, asking no question for conscience sake. Guys, what have we been talking about? This is not an issue of physical reality. This is an issue of consciousness, right? He just says it. Okay, so whatsoever sold in shambles, eat, that eat asking no questions for consciousness sake. What is this saying? Right? If you show up at a party, right? And they're like, "Ooh, yeah, we just did a sacrifice to Satan, and now we want you to eat it." Right? If you know you're already in rights, oh, that was so weird. My screen just did some really weird thing. All right, well, just put you guys on the side. I want you guys where you were. I want you in the middle. There we go. Okay. So if you're sitting there and somebody says, "Come to this party. We just like sacrificed all of this to the devil, and now we want you to eat it." And you know that you're plugged in and you're in right standings before God. And God's like, "Man, I'm going to use this for love. This is going to be so cool. Go eat that." Then you go, "Dope. I'm in right standings. I wonder what God's going to do for this. I wonder what God's going to do through this." I'm not out here trying to figure out what's right and wrong and what I should do and what I shouldn't do. If I'm in right standings, I will know what to do. If I'm in right standings, I will know what to do. When I know who I am, I know what to do. Okay? It's not about this thing out here. It's about my right standings. And am I an example of love? Because you know what? I might eat that food, right? And then, like, they go, "Oh my gosh, we thought you were a Jesus believer, and ha ha, you just ate this, sacrifice to idols." And you're like, "That's cool. Like, I'm covered in the blood of Christ." What the enemy meant for wrong, God meant for good. And they're like, "Ha ha, we did this idolatry thing and it's going to kill you and you just ate it." And then you're sitting there and you're like, "I feel fine. I'm covered in the blood of Christ. I feel fine." Do you guys get this? Right? And then they're like, "Oh my gosh, they didn't die. Jesus is real." Right? You don't know. But on the other hand, if God says, "Hey, yeah, you're free to leave," then leave. Do you guys get this? Like, if I try to figure out in my own head, in my own consciousness, I'm trying to judge what is right and wrong, good and bad. The only one capable of judging is God. Plug in and let him take care of it all. All right. Now, okay, I'm not going there. Okay. "But if any man say unto you, This is offered in sacrifice unto idols, do not eat it for his sake that shooteth, and for consciousness sake, for the earth is the Lord's and the Lord." Oh, okay. Conscious, I say, not thy own, but of the other. For why is my liberty judged for another man's consciousness? For if I by grace be a partaker, why am I evil spoken of? For that for which I give thanks. Whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever, do ye all in the glory of God. Okay. All this is saying, weirdly, exactly what I just said. Guys, if we're plugged in, then we will know what to do. And if God says eat it, eat it. If God says don't eat it, don't eat it. Right? If the person in front of us says, "Oh, eat this and it's okay," and you go, "Great," and you eat it and it's okay, everything's okay. But if they say, "Oh, you know what? This is like this is tainted because it's a hoofed animal," right? I don't really know what all that is, like if it's got two hoofs or cut in the middle or whatever. Remember that whole unclean and clean, whatever. But if somebody says, "Hey, this is unclean," and they're like, don't eat it, and you know their consciousness is weaker, don't eat it. Right? And then we go back to, guys, what's the foundation of all of this? Be plugged in. You can't not be loved, and then you will love the people around you. Period. Be plugged in. You'll know yourself as love. You'll love other people. Period. If you're not plugged in, you can't know if you're loving other people or not. Because now it's up to you and your understanding. And you do not have the capacity to judge right and wrong, good or bad. Why? Because you don't know what this cause is going to cause over there, right? I don't entirely think that the movie is exactly contextual in this, what we're talking about, the butterfly effect, but it's called the butterfly effect, and it talks about like cause and effect, and how there can be one slight change way over there and it'll change everything in the sequence of events, right? But there's also the element that when a butterfly flaps his wings, it changes the air in the atmosphere, which then can reverberate all the way around to the other side of the world, right? You can't know what cause is an effect of something that's good or bad. You can't know that. Why? Because your human is finite. Only God can know that, which is why if we mind our own business, if we just mind our own business and we plug in and we be love, everything outside of us will take care of itself. Everything. Why? Because that's God's business, not mine. My business is me. Am I plugged in or not plugged in? That's my business. Am I plugged in or not plugged in? That's my business. Am I plugged in or not plugged in? That is my business. Nothing else is my business. Nothing. Am I plugged in or not plugged in? That's my business. That's it. Okay. For if I have grace, particular, okay, whatsoever therefore ye eat. Okay. Therefore, whatsoever ye eat or drink, or whatsoever you do, do all in the glory of God. How do I do everything in the glory of God? You guys ready? Yeah. Yeah. When he's like, you be plugged in. Yeah. Be plugged in, and everything you do is glorifying God when you're not plugged in. Now, guys, let me give a little caveat side note real quick. Are you ready? We're not talking about being plugged into a religion. We're not talking about being plugged into a label. We're talking about being plugged into conductive energy of love. So I'm about to say something very non-churchy. Are you ready? Hold on to your hats. Remember hashtag naughty prophet. Are you guys ready? Someone who claims atheism can be plugged in. What, Lori? Somebody who doesn't claim the name of God? Guess what? The name of God is the character of God, is love. So somebody can be plugged in or not plugged in. And you can claim Jesus all day long and be a total douche. Or you can claim that God is dead and is a mother effing B word and totally be functioning from love. It's not about the words or the labels. Because guess what the book says? You will know my disciples by their love. You won't know Jesus's disciples by who they marry, how they vote, how much money they have, where they live, or even what religion they are. You will not know Jesus's disciples by what religion they are or are not. You will only know his disciples by their love. That's it. Just love. Only love. Okay. Only love. Okay, where am I at? Hold, please. Okay, give. Okay. Whatsoever therefore eat or drink, right? Do whatsoever in the glory of God. So drink the alcohol, don't drink the alcohol. Drink the coffee, don't drink the coffee. Do the thing, don't do the thing. Just be plugged in. Okay. Give no offense neither to the Jews nor the Gentiles, nor to the church of God, even as I please all of men in all things, not seeketh thy own profit, but the profit of many, that they may be saved. What is this saying, guys? Guess what it's saying. Don't be offended by what other people are doing. Mind your own business, get plugged in, know that you're already abundant and taken care of, and then desire that for other people. That's it. Give no one offense, neither to the Jews, nor to the Gentiles, nor to the church of God. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Mind your own business. Know that you're already in right standings, that you're already abundant, you're already taken care of, you're already full, and desire for other people to know what you know. That's it. That's as hard as life gets. Okay, let me read the chat. The chat says, oh, Jamie says, absolutely. It's about helping other people. Yes, yes, yes. Me too, Lori. I tried to be super, or to be sure people are that too. That was right after that. So yeah, when we are whole, we get to give wholeness to other people. When we are not whole, we can't give wholeness to other people. Good news. Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, we're right at time. How cool is that? And we got to the end of chapter 10. So we will do chapter 11. Yeah, chapter 11. Chapter 11 tomorrow, guys. All right. As usual, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please let me know. Otherwise, I don't know what time I'll see you tomorrow, but I think I see you at 10 tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye, guys.